again. We've had so many activities this week, Mark. I think you're my other wife, my partner wife. You know what I mean?
I don't know if I'd go that far, but I don't know. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I don't hear myself very well, so
Hold on,
I hear a lot of
there you go.
audio, but
There you
a
go.
lot of sound. Okay, there we go.
All right, this is low budget.
We got talent and producing all at the same time. So, and thank you for doing that, Steve, every week. I mean, I tried to. I was doing it myself last week, and it's like, oh, half the time the camera's not changing because Mark's over here talking. I'm not paying attention to that. So, anyway.
Well, now that you had your first run at it, you know what it's like on this side of the table.
I know. I have a great appreciation for it. But no, we had a really busy week. We had the town hall on Monday.
Yeah.
I thought that turned out really well. Maybe we didn't have as many people there as we did the first three, but when you think about it, the first three were in winter months, January, February, March. This month it's summer, it's spring, and everybody's out at baseball games and things like that. So, it's a little bit different, but we still had a few people show up, and it was my district, so I had some questions.
Well, the thing I think about with this whole, he's doing it. He said he was going to do it. He's doing it. He hasn't missed the mark yet.
No
pun intended. But he's Mark. But he's been doing it, and the people who are showing up have valid questions. I love the one in Flaherty. They have obvious concerns about 313, which is indicative of the
Muldrow had a lot of questions about their about the mayor's race and things up there, and also roads. I mean, almost everywhere you go, roads comes up,
and the water thing comes up.
It's getting less and less on the water thing, but definitely in January in Muldrow, it was a. So I agree with you.
It's less and less about the water thing, but what is good is though that he keeps talking about it because he's talking about that they're still fixing it, that there is a plan in place to correct it. So while it may not be fresh on everybody's mind again, he is constantly reminding people that they are working diligently to fix that. Not only that, but the granary.
The other thing about that is I like one of the things I like about what Troy's doing right now. Judge Executive Troy Koch, if anybody's not familiar with who we're talking about, when the judge is talking, he's talking about not just fixing what happened. He's talking about how do we grow the system for 2040.
Yep.
Not just 2030, not 2025, not 2030, but 2040. And he talks a lot about saying, if you think about it right now, if a child is born today, they're 17 years old in 2040. So you have to be thinking that far ahead because those are the people that are going to be,
living, working
in this community, and hopefully we have enough jobs that they stay here and can thrive and survive. Right?
Sounds like the people we elected though are working to keep that going.
It sounds really close. I mean, everything that they're doing right now, I am very, very happy with. But we're watching. Like we said, we told them, hey,
we're
you're
watchdogs too. Even though listen, I know we talked about this. Even though we support the party, we are going to ask tough questions. I think I asked a tough question. You asked several tough questions. That was your district. I had my chance in Muldrow. Of course, I was also running cameras and doing all that other stuff.
But you didn't quite have the chance, and there was a lot more people in Muldrow.
Yeah, well, actually, I think Flaherty had a lot more people than even Muldrow.
It did. It did, absolutely.
But they're only going to get better with time, like a good bourbon. I mean, in Kentucky,
I mean, Doe Valley had quite a few people for it. So
well, so tonight we've got a lot to talk about. Obviously, if you tuned in earlier this week, and again, it's my fault, low production. Did not mean to cut off. Gary Chapman did a fine introduction for Lincoln Days. Gary, I want to send a shout out, apology. I thought you did a fantastic opening for us. We had a great national anthem and then went right into prayer from Gary Chapman. And then Kelly Craft started us off because she had to go somewhere else. And I didn't get the first minute of Kelly Craft before I realized that I forgot to hit the start record and start stream. But to Kelly Craft, I mean, you got to talk to the audience. Those are the people that show up regularly and are participants.
And you got the bulk of her.
I did.
By far, you got the bulk of her. So,
and she had a lot of time to talk.
Yeah, I mean, and I wish we could have got everything, but I think it's fine that we just missed some of the standard introductory, but Gary's
Opening.
opening statement and invocation was awesome. I thought so.
I know.
When he was talking about the story about Lincoln and such, and we'll have to have him come on here and share that again, because
Maybe he'll call in on the show.
he said it was actually from Gerald Ford's.
Yeah.
What was it? Gerald Ford's. He was at a Lincoln Day in Louisville, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
So he was here in Kentucky, and it was in 1969, I think he said.
Yeah.
And so Gary was up front. He stole it from Gerald Ford, but it was a really great story, and I wish I could remember verbatim, but it's a really good story, and hopefully we can get Gary to share that with us one day. And Gary, if you're out there and you have it available, maybe you can call in real quick. And I don't know if you're listening in on us right now, but if you are, give us a call. We'll put you on air and have you read that off.
So this is probably going to get a shutdown, but I got something to play for you. I don't know if it went out on our post or not, but I got to play it real fast because I thought this was amazing. I just got to recue this and make sure it'll play right. Let's see if I can do this. We have to be quiet while it happens, though. Hold on a second.
Everybody can see me peeking around.
No, yeah. This is so good, and I don't know if it went out on the post, but it was something that I had heard, and I was flabbergasted. Let's see if you know who this guy is.
Nobody's violated that law. There's been no challenge to that law. Why do we need a constitutional amendment? Marriage is between a man and a woman. What's the game going on here? The world's going to Hades in a handbasket. We are desperately concerned about the
voice sounds
circumstance
familiar.
relating to avian flu. We don't have enough vaccines. We don't have enough police officers. And we're going to debate the next 3 weeks, I'm told, gay marriage, a flag amendment, and God only knows what else. I can't believe the American people can't see through this. We already have.
Okay, I found this clip. It popped up the other day, and I'm thinking, wow, he was so coherent then. And there's been so much news in the media, and I can't get fired like Anderson, or not, what's his name?
Tucker Carlson.
Tucker, so I just going to throw it out there. But how has the table turned from then to now? And we still look at these politicians and we're expected to believe what you say. And I only throw that out there in commentary because I think we have some great candidates running for the governor's race in Kentucky. But I'm going to tell you what, it's got to be tough these days to run for an office with the slander, the back and forth, and then you get elected and man, what? Where did we go? Where was that thought? And why did it go away? You know what I mean? So, Mark, help me.
I mean, he's
help
been
me
around here for
understand this.
come on.
Let's not talk about him, but let's focus on the future.
Okay,
we're
so
hearing
if
a
you
lot
look
of
at it-
things from our candidates, and how do we know?
How do we know which one to pick, or
How do you
who's
know
gonna-
they're not going to do like that guy?
Well, I mean, everybody's human, right? I mean, how many times do you make changes in your life, right? Do you change your mind about things?
Well, I'm going to. Okay, wait a minute. Values or values?
Well, that's where I was going.
Values and norms or values and norms?
That's where I was going to go with that. Is
All right.
that we now it's you can what should always stay strong and stay with you is your values and who you are, what you actually believe.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of politicians out there that don't really. All they believe in is power. And I'm not talking about anybody specific. But there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah.
They think that all they need, all they care about is getting into that seat and being in that seat of power, so that they don't really care about how they get there, whose promises they made. It's hard.
Okay.
It's hard to figure out who those people are, because you think about all the people that we have. I mean, right now you talk about Mike Harmon running for governor.
Yeah.
Wonderful man. Mm-hmm. Probably the best person, and I don't mean any slights against any of the other candidates, but he's probably one of the best people that I know, and I know him personally. He is who he is. He reminds me probably a lot of like Mike Huckabee, right? Mm-hmm. You pretty much feel like you get what you see with Mike Huckabee, right?
Yeah.
I think that Mike Harmon is very similar.
How did that work out for Mike Huckabee?
Well, I mean,
he's governor, but he didn't make president.
No, he didn't make president, but that's still tough. But it's because not everybody wants the nice guy.
Yeah.
represent. That's why President Trump was so popular. People, especially in the Republican Party, were tired of the nice guys, or the not nice guys is probably not the right word. The over statesmen, like they were statesmen. They're compromisers. And at some point, you have to. If you're compromising on something, you're saying, "Hey, I'm going to give you a little bit so that I can get some." Well, compromising for years, the Republican Party has been, "Well, I'm going to give you this so that you don't beat me up."
Yeah,
That's how it's been.
So,
and now with Trump, it's stopped.
Well, I think that's presence. I think that speaks about somebody's presence, right? So, but that's like saying, well, if you've got a fancy Facebook page, I'll vote for you. You know, that's our youth voters. But I'm not going to go down this road of henpecking against each candidate. But I'm just saying, you hear a guy that has a lot of power talking about years ago the same stance that we take, and yet we're ridiculed for taking that stance. And yet here, that same person is responsible for all these changes that are happening in the nation. Now, so what I'm saying is we're looking at these. I got it from a while back, but
it's from a while back. But what's happened is not. It's not that the standard has so much changed. It's kids have been kids, and especially the younger generations have been indoctrinated to think that those things were bad. The things that you think are bad today were wrong then. Well, they may have been wrong, but it wasn't. Nobody knew that.
Yeah.
Right. Nobody. You can't look back in history and relive it and say, oh well, they should have just known better. They could have got on Twitter. In 1847, they should have just got on Twitter and found out why this guy was doing that.
Well, no, that's not it. That's like kids today. You start singing "Hickory Dickory Dock, the mouse ran up the clock," and they said, "What? TikTok?" No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It is. So they're indoctrinated. But okay, so reeling it back in, we had great showing. I think at the Lincoln Days, you did a great job putting that together. The candidates were there.
Yeah, I mean, I had a couple things, and I'll talk about one specifically that I want to. That I apologize for. So, when I made out the candidate, so we put place cards at each table. Now, the reason we do that is because we sell sponsorships,
sure,
co-hosts and hosts, and it's basically you put those people on the place cards so that everybody sees who. It's basically like. Almost like an advertisement. It's not technically an advertisement, but it's one way we honor those people who donated to help put this thing together.
That's right.
And so, we have different levels.
To credit you though, we use those monies if we make money over what it costs to do the venue. When after we're through the primary, we help promote so we can win our governor race.
Oh yeah, that's exactly
all of our races.
That's exactly what we do. The Lincoln Day dinner for it is actually just a fundraiser. Is what it is. But we try to entertain. We try to bring people in to speak that will inform the voters on who's what's running. This year we have a governor's race, and we were fighting to get governor candidates here. I sent out a note to all the governor's candidates to say, hey, we're going to have our Lincoln Day on this date. Originally it was on April 13th, and I mean, we put that out there. We put it up at RPK. Everybody, we were the only one that had anything on that date on any of the calendars. So soon after, I started texting around to some of the candidates or emailing some of the candidates, and I got a note back from the first couple that responded, said, hey, April 13th, I think it's Jessamine County or somebody's having something, and we're not going to be able to be there. I said, oh. I was like, well, that's not good. So you're probably going to have trouble with most of the candidates.
Yeah.
And sure enough, that was the case. So we pivoted and said, okay, let's find another day. So I went through the calendar. April 25th pops up. So I sent out a note. Hey, all the candidates, we're going to have it on April 25th. I can't make multiple changes. We know that very quickly Daniel Cameron's campaign said, yes, we're good for that day. We will be in Meade County for you.
Awesome.
And so we said, okay, good. That's our date. We're going to be solid. We know we at least have one or two candidates that are coming that day. And then come to find out, Wayne County also put their Lincoln Day together. And there was another thing over in, I think over in Lexington. So, I mean, these candidates, man, they have to be all over the place.
Yeah, well,
all at the same time.
I mean, I'd have
And
my
it's hard.
RV driving with the big old billboard down the side of it if I was running for office. You know what I mean?
So we didn't even know. We had been trying to get Kelly Craft down here. She came and did a.
She was in E-Town a week ago.
Yeah, and she was in a. Well, she came here to our headquarters during last campaign season back in September, but it was like a very small. Like we had like 25 people or so here. So not very many people got to hear her live. And so we went ahead. We wanted to, we were hoping that we'd get her for the Christmas party. She couldn't make it, but she sent Max Weiss, and which
Her lieutenant governor candidate.
Yep. And then so he spoke at Christmas. So then we were thinking, okay, well we're going. Hopefully we can get her for Christmas or for the Lincoln Day.
Yeah.
And these things trying to, everybody's trying to go that. So I sent out the email. Never heard anything back from most of the candidates, but I did hear back from a couple very early on. So, I mean, they responded almost immediately. And because of that, I had multiple threads of different emails and things going on trying to, check on these things. And I missed them when I made out the place card. So I didn't have Ryan Quarles surrogate on the list. I didn't have Eric Dieters.
But they still spoke.
They
and if I play it back, hold on a second. And if I quote correctly, let me see here. I think somewhere in here you asked. Hold on, let me see.
So yeah, so I was like, I even asked if there was anybody that I missed.
You looked around. Let me see if I can find that. Hold on. Tyrannical Governor. Oh, I love it when it pops up. It says Tyrannical Governor Andy Beshears.
So while you're looking for that, let me finish up
Go ahead,
real quick
keep going.
where I was going. So what we were doing is, we went through the schedule, but I did not have those people on the place cards.
Just talk about the open.
Keep going.
I didn't have those people on the place cards, everybody on the place cards, because I just spaced it. I didn't have those names in the last email thread, and it didn't occur to me to go back deeper to find them. And it was really just, a mistake I made. No one else made that mistake. I make out the place cards. I lay them out. I print them. Everything, happens through me. So, as Mike Harmon says, the buck stops with me.
Yeah. Hold on a second.
Speaker as Ryan is, but I encourage you to visit RyanQuarles.com.
Talk a little bit.
Wait a minute.
We have to bring common sense back.
It's right in here.
Last of the evening.
Kneel for our God. Kneel.
Oh, come on.
Here, but I don't see him.
Oh, wait, there it is.
So anyway,
Wait, I want to play it again. Hold on.
Here, but I don't see him. Is he in the house?
Hold on. Let's see if I get it.
Have to be able to protect.
Wait, come on, too fast.
Peters was here, but I don't see
Oh,
him. Is
wait,
he in
I
the
heard it
house?
that time.
Have to be able to protect.
Well,
have enjoyed what you've heard.
Hold on. We're not on paid time, so here we go. Let me crank this up.
I was told that Eric Dieters was here, but I don't see him. Is he in the
Yeah,
house?
oh yeah, you did offer him an opportunity to speak. I did notice that. I just wanted to make sure we did do that. All right, go ahead. Sorry. But you got to talk to him today. So
I did. I mean,
all right, so explain. But why does he still have the post up?
I don't know. I mean, a lot of people don't even know what the post is about. So
All right, well that's good.
so I missed some people. I apologize for that. I apologized as they came in the door that, hey, I did not have you on the place cards and things, and some things happened. And Eric Mr. Dieters had come from Northern Kentucky, drove 2.5 hours to come down and visit with us.
And we're grateful he did. I wish he would have stayed and spoke. But anyway, go ahead.
So what happened was the gentleman that rode with him, I don't know his name. It's not important.
Well, I know
he came in. He came in and said, "Hey, how come he's not on the speaking list?" And I said, somebody asked, I don't know if it was me or one of the ladies that were there, asked if he responded to the email, and he had brought it up and said yes. And I said, and then he showed it to me, and I said, well, thank you. I said, regardless, we have, it's either way, we have openings for you. We left openings for everybody. Mm-hmm. So if anybody came in, there's a spot for you to speak.
So he wasn't happy with that.
I don't know if he was happy or not.
Did he pay a sponsorship?
No, nobody. The only people that paid sponsorships were Kelly Craft and Daniel Cameron's campaign through.
Did he pay for a seat to eat food?
No, nobody had no speaker had to pay.
No. That's what my point is.
Yeah. So nobody.
Other than not having your name in the program, you still had the opportunity to have as much time as you wanted to talk to the citizens of Meade County and say your piece.
Right. And so that's absolutely true. We offered him if he would have come inside and talked, and because I went looking for him to say this is what time. This is what time,
And he would have got a free meal. The best fried chicken in town.
Best ham. Let me tell you something. Gail Hinton is the bomb when it comes to that ham.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else out there uses Gail for catering, but she does an excellent job.
That was a solid plug. Yeah, good job.
Thanks. If I had her phone number, I'd give it to you over there right now. But I don't know if she wants me to or not, but that's what I'd do.
Okay.
But, so here's what happened. And later on in the evening, we were cleaning up and somebody pinged me and said, hey, did you see this? And I looked, and Mr. Dieters, I guess, was upset and had put a Facebook post out there basically saying that, that we didn't have him in the program. But if I had it all to do over again, I wouldn't have put anybody in the program. I would have just said governor candidates and then because I have an agenda sheet that I go through, and once I verify and everyone's there, I have the list of who's there. And
well, it's important because you're trying to stay on track for the program and all that other stuff. But I love the way you did the layout this time. That foldable card, it was. I think that worked out perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I even got like a plug for for the podcast and on the tickets and stuff like that. I don't know if you remember.
I did, but I also I had to course correct you at the end because you were about to say thank you everybody and good night, and I was like. To the show. And then he's like, "Oh, shameless club."
Yeah, I had to shift gears. 'Cause I'm talking to the audience, the live audience, and I forgot.
Sorry, you did great. You closed it out like a champ. I thought,
but it was, so it was unfortunate that happened. Mr. Dieters and I have had, we've been texting back and forth. I tried calling him a couple times yesterday just to say, "Hey, I'm sorry. This is what happened. It was a total misunderstanding." My understanding is that there have been a couple of places that have said, "Hey, we don't want you to come speak here."
Wow,
that's my understanding from some of the folks that I've talked to, and I tried to tell them, hey, that was not the case at Meade County. We do not shun candidates here.
You're more than welcome.
If you come to, we don't shun people from our meetings. If you come into our meeting and you want to speak, if you're a Republican, you want to come speak at one of our Republican meetings, we have an open session for public session. We'll give you 5 minutes to discuss your topic, ask your questions or what have you. So we do that every month, and I think anybody that comes to a meeting that I run would attest to that.
I've been there. All of them, I think.
So it's it was. I felt horrible when that gentleman walked in, and the reaction that he didn't react in a way that I would have expected him to. I mean, he didn't say anything other than he just said. Well, okay, he just said, "Okay, mate," and left, and I was like,
"For me,"
and I looked for him for like I don't know another hour.
For me, okay. So I saw the post that he did. Interesting. And
the only thing I regret, I wish he would take it down.
Well,
that's the only thing
I got it, but I went and saw it, and now that you give the backstory, I could see why that was his first reaction was to go. And he's a frequent flyer on social media. I mean, this guy's got more content going. I had to go through several hours of just today to get to yesterday to get to the day before. This guy's got like 100 posts that hit his page, blinging and pinging, which is active marketing. It's great. He's doing a great job. But when I did watch the video, now that you tell me the backstory, that explains why he just went on the attack. Change stories a little bit. Grayson County was there with us, their GOP, and then he just had their dinner. I just saw something about that on Grayson County. So they were there to see ours, and then
we try to reciprocate. I didn't make it to Hardin County because it was during Easter weekend, and we had a lot of things going on. But I did, we bought some tickets for theirs just to kind of, we kind of go back and forth with each other. And try to help out, the different. Now the party doesn't buy the tickets. We as individuals buy the tickets and things like. So we go to each other's a little bit. But we had about 150 or so people there. I didn't get an exact head count, but it was around 150 or so. I think we had more tickets sold than people there, because some people buy tickets and then they either can't make it or they just wanted to support or what have you. But it was a good day. I didn't get the total what we raised or anything, but
I thought it went off. We'll probably get that in the future podcast. But tonight primarily, I think each candidate that showed up did a great job. Mark Harmon, his audio, Mike Harmon, sorry,
not the actor.
Yeah, sorry, it came through as best as we could for the
quality. I wish we'd have had a better quality audio. It sounded that way on my phone too. It didn't sound. It was a little hard, but we played it. I think most people could hear it, and you just had to had to listen a little bit more closely than if somebody was actually on a mic there.
Yeah, but for the most part, if you go back and you watch, there's two episodes because we cut it off when we start eating. So if you go back, it's right before this podcast. There's two posts. You'll get Kelly Craft, and then if you watch the second post. The first post you'll see just under this one is all of the candidates speaking either on behalf of the candidate or the candidate themselves. I'm actually, I was proud to see Kelly Craft instead of doing a video or an audio.
Yeah.
She drove down again. I
think
that
she flew down.
Well, that was.
I think her husband flew her into.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So.
But her making a presence in front of that larger audience, I think, was beneficial for her for Meade County. The fact that Daniel Cameron has been to every single event speaks a lot about where he's coming from for the campaign. But I'm going to tell you with this list, and if you didn't get it, here's a shameless plug again. The Meade County Messenger has the image for you for the paper. It's got the complete what the ballot's going to look like. I know last week we had, and great show by the way, Mark, with Susan Masterson. Yeah, it was your first flight of the simulator.
It was a little hard. I was glad I had Joe there to help with some of the
antics,
and be able to, so I can focus on the production side of it every now and then. But you have to have that person. Mm-hmm. You really have to have that person that can kind of take the conversation a little bit.
I should have let you run it tonight and me sit on that side.
Well, we were talking about doing that, but
this is working out better.
It just I just have to. I think I just have to be a little bit better prepared with the information.
Yep.
If I'm going to do it by myself, but as long as somebody has to be kind of take those reins a little bit. But I think it works. It works fine. It's actually pretty easy to run.
No, it's not. It's not too bad. Yeah.
It's. I mean, as far as pushing buttons and things, it's not easy to think about. I have to think about the camera change at that time, but that takes time.
But I just want to say to all of our voters though, listen, the Meade Messenger did a great job. The ballot's in there. Go get a copy of this. Do your homework. This podcast was about educating you. The ballot's already done. Usually we would send these out in the Meade Truth paper that we send to every door in Meade County, which will be coming probably during the gubernatorial race for the general election. But go get this. It's right out of the Meade Messenger. I'll give them a shameless plug. I know everybody that's probably a Republican is going to be mad at me for giving them a plug, but we're kind of proud of some of the work they've been doing lately and appreciate the support because they're trying to educate too now, it looks like. So I like that game. Yeah. Now I know Mark had a good chat back and forth. He was telling me about there was a good article in there. You need to go see the PVA office. I think we had it was one of the town halls that Troy had. It was Gabe Chapman of the PVA. He was in attendance at Flaherty actually. Yep.
And he said he was telling a lot about these.
Well,
these things
their district is coming up for a review.
Their district is getting ready to be evaluated
or assessed. Yeah, I think
assessed. Yeah, and so he talked about some of these discounts and things that you can get, in these Homestead Act and things like that are available. Chad had a really good article today on hey, you need to go out and check out these discounts. And I told Chad I was going to say this. I said the only thing I disagree with Chad on in this is he used the word overcharged. The PVA the PVA is overcharging but the rest of the sentence says it's semantics. The rest of the sentence says if you don't fill out a form. So he's basically baiting you to read the article, which is great. What form do I need to fill out? Well, I mean, I don't think that he was trying to bait at all.
Well, I didn't say debate. I said
it was just a miss.
I disagree.
No, okay. I don't know that. I don't know that. I mean,
I think it was a great way to get you to go into the article and talk about what form do I need to fill out. I'm getting overcharged. I thought it was good.
I get it. I get where you're coming from. I just disagree. I just don't like the word, I guess. I'm not going to say
But
disagree.
we didn't like the word liar either, either, but I mean,
well, that's a long time.
different
We don't need to go down that track. Yeah. We need to back up on that one.
I just
We've had a very good relationship.
I know it's
so
good.
It's
We're on the mend.
but I'm just tell you, the only reason I didn't like it is because it's like I likened it to going to Kroger's and say, hey, I'm going to go to Kroger's. I'm going to buy a gallon of milk, and the gallon of milk is $3.99. Let's say it's a good. Well, actually, these days it's just milk for $3.99. It used to be expensive milk, but that's pretty much it now. I'm going to buy a gallon of milk, and I get up to the checkout and I scan it, and it says, hey, $3.99. Pay my $3.99. I go out, I have my milk. I get out to the, I get back home, I open up the paper, and you get 50 cents off the gallon of milk. If I had taken my coupon with
You
me,
were
I'd have got 50 cents.
overcharged.
I was not overcharged. I chose not to accept the discount. I didn't take the discount.
You were charged what the milk cost.
I didn't know it was there, so I didn't. But I didn't get overcharged.
You paid full price.
I paid full price, and that's not overcharged. That's full price.
So the moral of your story is
the
if
moral
you-
of the story is that if you go get the coupon at the PVA's office.
Well,
I call it a coupon. It's just go fill out the form and you get your discount.
Well, if you don't cut the coupon out of the paper and use it,
You don't get the discount.
which is basically go fill out the form, right?
Yeah.
So it's like cutting out the coupon. If you don't do the work to
Yeah, I said a whole lot of words to say that it wasn't that big of a deal. And I
no, but
told-
it's a good
but I-
conversation.
but I
'cause
told-
I
you know,
don't agree with it. I agree with the way you worded it. It's a great way to start off the article.
But I'll tell you, I don't think that Chad meant to do it that way. I don't think he
Why
intended
not?
to. I don't think he meant to bait people into
Made
something.
me want to
but-
read the whole thing because,
Well-
what else do I? What other discounts are there?
Yeah, but I get what
Well,
you're saying.
how many coupons are in the paper?
We'll see. I don't know.
Well, now I got to
didn't
go
look.
read the article.
I got to find out.
Anyway, hey, so Mark, what's coming up? What's on the schedule coming up in the future? And I think you got
so-
some good news about the fair too, don't you?
So yeah, we are at least penciled in right now for our own booth for the Meade Truth. So we'll have our own
Got
spot.
to get our backdrops.
We'll
all
have our
squared away.
backdrop. We're going to set up the studio in there. We're going to have a really, really good time. Have a lot of space for people instead of us trying to share the space that we had with the Republican Party last year. We're going to have our own space. The party will have their space. Well, I'll say the party has our space and the show has our space. So, and we're going to set things up. I think you've been talking about how you're going to lay it out. You got a plan. We're going to have the backdrops. We're going to have plenty of room for people to come in and sit down. And I think it's going to be a great time. I loved doing the fair last year. I thought a lot of people liked hearing about the fair, what's going on. There's a lot of people out there that just like hearing about some of the hometown stuff that's going on,
Well, and I think we got a lot of visits, so hopefully we can grow this over the next year and continue to help the
As soon as we find out who the candidates are going to be, I'm going to try to schedule them all in to come in and sit in for that first hour.
That would be great.
And see if we can't get them to, get them some airtime and come visit the fair. I mean, it's always a real treat.
I know what I'm going to go for first off the fair menu, and I can't tell it over the phone.
You want to say it over the phone?
But you'll find out at the fair because I'll have to be eating it like a big old sloppy Joe. That'll be like all.
But it's not a sloppy Joe.
No, it's not a sloppy Joe. But I'll be eating it like a sloppy Joe. But anyway, all right. So
Did we have anybody that wanted to call in today, or?
Nah, it didn't look like it. It just I got Landon and Liam at home saying, "Hi, Uncle Steven."
Gotcha.
But it's all good. So take us out. We got our next meeting when?
Our next meeting is, let me pull up my calendar here. It is the third Monday. The Republican Party meets every third Monday of the month at the old train masters, the station master's house over here at Brandenburg Station.
AKA the train station.
The train station. You can come in and any Republican is welcome to come in. We have a public session. We start at 7:00. Then the next thing is Election Day. May 16th is Tuesday, May 16th is election day, and we are, we gotta get everybody out to vote. If you think it's not, if you don't think it's important, it's important. It is absolutely important for you to come and vote in the primaries to choose who your next, who's going to represent you as a Republican in the general election in November. You need to come out and do that, and then come as soon as we know who the candidates are. We need everybody to come out and help get the Republican elected governor again in Kentucky. It's important. You ask the legislatures that how much easier it is to work with somebody. The governor right now does not even come in to the legislature to talk to them. So that's all I have for today. Come out and visit with us. We're going to be preparing for the fair going forward. If y'all want to get involved, give us a call at 270-945-3418. If you guys want to volunteer for the fair or walk in the parade, give us a call. And you can also check out our website at meadegop.com. And as always, you can also go to meadetruth.com. Thank you all for sticking with us, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yep. Hey, so closing out, listen, get the paper, go look at the ballot, get educated on your candidate, and don't just check the block. Pick the right candidate and vote your conscience. Y'all have a good night.
Good night, everybody.